Travel World Online team had an interview with Mrs. Jyoti Mayal, chairperson of the Tourism and Hospitality Skill Council, THSC. Here's what she said.
How do you see India's inbound and outbound tourism growing in the next over the next decade?
India is a country now globally being looked at. It's not only about what tourism is doing, it's also about what is happening in our country. Businesses are prospering, and the way India is being taken as a global visibly after this AI meet and all the G20 and now with BRICS as the president. So being the president of BRICS, I think India is coming globally into the market, and we are here to stay because we are actually our infrastructure is improving. Last mile connectivity is becoming better. Visas are becoming easier. Ease of business is coming in. So I think we must appreciate where appreciation is due. But there's still a lot to be done. And as our Prime Minister says, and that we need to move towards the 2047 Viksit Bharat, I think there's a lot more to be done till that time. We have a lot more to do for sure as industry stakeholders. I'm still very actively involved in the tourism aspect. It's in my blood, I can't leave it. But I'm also the chairperson of the Tourism and Hospitality Skill Council. And that's where I actually come down to that tourism will not happen without skilled people. It could be skilling, it could be upskilling, it could be reskilling. But we need to skill the people and the environment around because that's the only way tourism is going to come about. And the best service and the best experience is what India is capable of. That will come if we actually structure it properly.
Ma'am, how can small and mid-sized travel agents survive in this era of OTAs?
See, this chicken and egg story has always been there. There'll always be many multiplayers. You can't be the only one in any business. So it's not only about travel tourism. I think in every business, if you even if you look at a small chemist shop, there are thousands of chemist shop in your own locality. If you look at the vegetable people, there are thousands of vegetable people in your locality. But each has its own destiny. Each has to put in their hard work and labor to get. So I think the same goes for the travel agents. They need to see the change of environment. They need to adapt to technology. They need to upgrade the skilling structure. They need to train their frontline staff. So the more experience you can give to a traveler, is the tourism will come to you. And believe you me, there is enough business in the market. People who cry, I feel, are not crying for the right reasons. You have to look within your own house, what are you lacking? And that is what you need to bring it to the right and stop blaming others because I think the market is huge. Travelers are multiplying. In India, we have the 3-tier cities or even the villagers now coming who want to travel. So I think there's a huge scope, especially with India's population. We need to invest in the humans and the people around us.
Ma'am, how is technology reshaping the travel trade and what are your views on AI replacing the traditional travel agents?
See, AI, we should not be scared of AI. That's what I believe very strongly. The whole world has changed. We were initially 10 years back or 15 years back, we were issuing tickets by our hand. Now it's all automated. There was no GDS system. We got scared when the GDS came. There was no technology at that time. We got scared when the technology came. Now it's AI. So learn to bring it as an enabler. Don't get scared of it. Learn what we have to do. Invest in your office in technology. Make the experience of the traveler much better. Make it seamless. Make it more educative. Invest in data analytics. What are you doing wrong? What are you doing right? What is it that you need to do? So I think you should use AI to your benefit as per your vision of life and as per how much are you aspiring to do. Don't get scared with OTAs. Don't get scared with the big agents. They have their own aspirations. But believe you me, you have your own place in the industry and you will always remain.
Ma'am, as a woman leader in this competitive industry, what challenges do you face and what advice do you have for the young female entrepreneurs?
I would have that for the youth also. I think the Gen Z needs to spruce up. They are the living in the digital, they are the digital nomads. I think they are the ones who can bring a change into this industry, working the right way, being transparent with your client, working to the best, charge what you need to because I think you need to earn your respect and you need to earn the money that you are demanding from your client. So if you do that, no one's going to stop you. Coming to women, I think we need to see more women in the leadership roles and not just sit behind the wall or sit behind the cabins. Come out, make yourself heard. You have a voice. You are there. You are skilled. You are as skilled as any man is. You have all the attributes which you can bring into this industry and make this grow. More the women in this industry, more safer a industry it will be, more safer a country it will be, and tourism will be growing much more.
Ma'am, how airline commission structures are affecting the agents? And I'd like to ask what reform are needed in airline and agent relationship?
See, there always needs to be a relationship between the giver and the taker, and I think that's what it is. And today, I don't believe there's any giver and taker. We are all standing at the same platform. When I was the president, I was the first person to ever take over as the chair of APJC, which is the Airline Passenger Joint Council for IATA. And that time there was a question placed to me, do you think you will become the chair? And I said yes, because today we don't work as individuals, we work as partners. And that is what partnership is all about. Give everyone an opportunity to work, give everyone an opportunity to do their business, give everyone an opportunity to earn. And I think that's very important. Regarding the commission, I think now it's an old story because commissions are no longer there. So if certain airlines are giving, I think they are here only for a short time. Every new airline that comes into your country distributes incentives for a short time because they want to lure the market and have some market share. But once that comes in, they all don't want to give it any further. So learn and understand that you are being used and your work is being taken for a short time. So try to build up your relationships, try to build up your strength in that time so that you can sell more and more without getting scared, and add on your service charge very boldly and with conviction that you are doing the best for the client.
Ma'am, but for the Indian tourism?
What about Indian tourism? Domestic tourism?
Indian tourism.
No, you mean inbound or you mean outbound? Or you mean domestic tourism?
Domestic tourism.
India is a huge country, and every person today is looking at AI. We have many more phones in the country. We have more advanced where technology is concerned. A few years back, we heard the Prime Minister say it will take us some time to come to technology and usage of AI. Today, we are a country where maximum mobile phones are used. We are adapting so quickly. So I think the travel is only going to increase day by day. Everyone may not be able to go out of the country to travel. Domestic travel is on the rise with so many new hotels coming up. And why hotels? We have bed and breakfast, we have small resorts. So there is a huge opportunity and the dignity for every person to travel in this country. Everyone gets one life. And I believe everyone should travel. And whatever your vision is in life, you should always fulfill it. So I think domestic tourism is on the rise and it's always going to be on the rise.
Ma'am, as a closing question, I'd like to ask you, what message would you like to give to the Indian travel fraternity?
I would just say that the Indian travel fraternity should work together, because that is something I've never seen it happening. Everyone, and I don't talk only about associations, every person in this industry has a right to raise questions. Every person in this industry has a right to livelihood. So they should stand up for their rights, demand from the association heads what is required from them. Don't be scared, don't be shy, stand up, because you are a member of an association for a reason. You're not there only to give the fees. So stand up for what you're looking for. Ask your questions, ask how you can do better, take consulting from the people at the helm of affairs, and they should be helping you, because that is the reason they are at the helm of affairs. When I was the president, I was very sure that I helped every person. I started Women in Travel and Tourism. I worked with a lot of young entrepreneurs. I think that needs to go on, because the industry needs to come on a platform, work together with no one being larger or the smallest. So I think that's the scope I would tell the industry leaders. And I would end by saying, skill yourself, upskill yourself, reskill yourself, because without skilling, believe you me, you're not going anywhere. You need to learn quick and learn it much quicker than the person next to you. And that is what I need to say. Also to the stakeholders, I would say, invest in your staff. Please train them, please skill them, that they give you the best service. Don't think that you're investing in them and they're going to leave jobs. They are not. If they are looked after well, respect your staff and they will always do well.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
You are watching Travel World Online.